All right.
I didn't consent.
Last time on the curse of the gross cannibalistic child. Ilya. Yeah, so last time what ended up happening was you guys all showed up at Kresk and you were greeted so wonderfully in Kresk by the young Ilya and his mom Anna, who accepted you into their home. And you met Demira there, who has her newborn sweet baby, and you had a lovely dinner and you all chatted the night away. And Demira let you in on the town's problem, which was that the livestock was depleting. So fast forward to the next morning, and a villager comes bursting into the house and like grabs Zug and is like, oh my gosh, please. Oh, that's weird.
Don't point.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So yeah, do we need that one?
It was to get Josh. I'm not going to tilt this toward Josh all the time, but now Josh is represented in the Zoom chat.
Oh, to see Josh's face. Okay, whatever. So basically, a villager came bursting in, like grabbed Zug and was like, our livestock is gone. And he took you over to Lucas Farm. And at Lucas Farm, go ahead. You discovered that they had stores of about like 50 sheep or so. And the 50 sheep had been sort of declining a little bit over the weeks, but it turned out that like that morning, all of the remaining sheep, which was like 3 dozen sheep, had just disappeared. And there was blood all over the pen. And you guys were all like, what the heck happened here? There was an angry mob that basically started to form and shout things and get upset and panic. And eventually you heard a scream from the road. And that scream happened to be a woman who was watching Ilya, who had basically turned into this deteriorated, horrific former scrap of himself. And he was eating another villager. And what you eventually found out was that Ilya has been, who was resurrected, clearly something was off. He has been just needing to satisfy his insatiable hunger. So much so that he ate all of the sheep that the village had been preparing for the past few months, because Kresk is about to go into winter. Allegedly. And as you know, winter is coming, which means that everyone might die. And now Ilya ate all the sheep, and now he's cannibal and like eating a person. So you guys did, of course, the thing that you had to do, which was kill Ilya. Which turned out to be a really, really painful task. Ilya was like raid boss status, just as Zug, who nearly died and is almost still dead. Like right now, he's just like still.
Right, I'm at 7 health points.
He's at 7 health. So eventually you guys were able to kill Ilya. It was quite sad. The entire town was dissipated. They fled in terror after seeing a cannibalistic young child. And eventually what ended up happening was Anna burst forward and by the way, I want to remind you all that you decapitated Ilya. You tore his head off. You guys are disgusting.
I mean, he was eating a person.
Yeah. Like okay.
Who's the real monster here?
So basically Anna burst forward from the street, screamed in agony, and went to the body, not the head, of her son.
Wasn't Zug holding the head?
Zug is holding the head. I think Zug is still holding the head.
It's like Christmas ornament.
Okay.
What's wrong with you?
He's just Zug. He's just being seasonal.
Tis the season. And Anna is cradling the body of her young son.
I'm cradling the head.
Your cradling Zug is cradling the head.
Wow.
And she is weeping openly over the body of her murdered son.
Is it murder?
Slain son. It's kind of murder.
It's
Cannibalism.
you found a way to justify.
Cannibalism is a crime.
I think cannibalism is also murder.
Not
Anyways,
necessarily.
anyways,
It's a snack.
anyways, this is where we left off.
Yeah.
So we are going to jump in today. We're going to jump right back in. Now, before we jump in, I'm starting a new tradition of describing the day to you all when we start.
Can we include in the day description like the exact scene that is before us? Because I'm
Sure.
trying to remember everybody's position.
Yes, I can do that. I'm gonna, by the way, swap back and forth between notes and Zoom. So if you see me tabbing over to notes, you
Just look
gotta-
away.
Just look away.
Just don't look. Just don't read.
Really quick, random interjection. Can we agree that this is what Ilya may have looked like?
Wait, bring us
What do you
bring us
have?
closer.
That's just like a terrifying dark
fuck?
portrait.
Dear Lord, is that in your bedroom?
The eyes are following you.
It's in the guest bedroom that I'm staying at my parents'. His name is Luca, and he's a creepy ass oil painting that my mom got from an antique store for $1.99 that
Your
just
mom hates your
looks
guts.
at me every day
Your
while I
mom is
sleep.
haunted.
Wait, his name's Luca, the painting? Isn't that the
That's
name of
what
the
my mom
farmer?
calls him.
That is the name of the farmer.
Oh
Yeah.
God,
That's
Oh, yeah.
weird.
I don't believe in coincidences.
That's weird.
Yeah,
That's weird, you guys. Okay.
very unsettling.
Yes, Ilya
and
definitely looked like that before he became like
I
a
knew it.
giant void
I
monster.
knew it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for settling that.
Okay, so the air has turned from cold to near freezing. Gentle snowflakes begin to descend from the sky. The Kreskites, who formed a mob earlier, begin to reassemble around your party and the body of Ilya and Anna. So the scene before you is the party is currently looking at this decapitated small body, and Anna, who is wrapped around it, like she's like lifted it up and she's like cradling it and she's like weeping over it. And as you guys are sort of watching this happen, the Kreskites, which is the word, by the way, because even though
Not Kreskians.
it's Kreskites, the people of Kresk, the Kreskites, they have begun to reassemble after all of the chaos and disgust. And one man shouts out, "She knew about this." And you hear another woman's voice scream, and she says, "Let her hang!" Another man's voice yells out, "What will we do about winter? We'll starve." The mob begins to rile up and the yelling gets louder and more intense. The curiosity begins to turn into a full-on panic.
Ramis would like to raise his voice. How far into the panic are the people?
We're just starting to be panicked.
Before you make a check, I'm gonna.
Thank you.
I'm like your.
I'm out of spells.
Yeah.
Okay, so with Kane's hand upon my shoulder, Ramis will stand from he was like previously kneeling in slight disgust at his party's beheading of the young boy demon. He will stand and say, "People of Kresk, we have slain but a young boy. He was the burgomaster of this town. It was not Anna or young Ilya who has brought this terror upon us. No, it was the abbot." He will like point upwards towards the hill.
I'm gonna yell out.
Kresk is in danger because of him. Kresk has no leader because of him. Do not cast blame against one another. We must cast blame where it is rightly placed.
Just to the abbot.
And he will like walk towards Anna. Can I look at her and see if what's she like taking of all of this?
Mhm.
Split check.
Yeah. So firstly, persuasion. Go ahead.
Easy.
Got a D4.
Villager.
For each villager,
How many
roll a
villagers are there?
persuasion check. There's about 40 of them.
Okay.
Roll 40 d20.
No, no.
Roll persuasion to see
I
how
could
effective,
roll 40.
how effective it was. Your speech
Oh
was.
fuck. Okay, that's a 14 plus 17.
Get to the bard.
That
Um,
was like a really low roll of D20.
yeah. So the mob begins to quiet down a little bit. You still hear some hustle and bustle. You still hear some like grunting and yeah, definitely murmurs. But they seem to be a little bit at bay for the moment. Like you have time to sort of chat with Anna and maybe reconcile the situation before this angry mob lynches this poor woman.
Oh God.
I mean, that would be one hell of a fireball. Let's be honest.
That's true.
Right into that crowd.
I think Ramis, sensing that it didn't quite land, will run to Anna and be like, is she like disgusted? What is she?
So
I didn't get her reaction.
Hysterical, probably.
yeah, you don't really need to roll for this. So she is absolutely hysterical. She's crying her eyes out. She's openly weeping. She looks like devastated. And she's really not invested or thinking or like looking at anyone in this mob. She is like very in tune with this like body. And that's where she's at.
You were about to say something.
Yeah, can I to help calm her down? Can I take the head and kind of like,
Oh God, what kind of fucking monster are you?
Okay. Ramis will push Zug aside and push over to.
Oh my God, you're gonna like try to put that like on it so she can look into his eyes. No. Okay.
Can I roll initiative against Zug?
I would cast mind prison on Zug, but it wouldn't work on it.
Boy.
Okay. Ramis will run up to
just
Anna
like dumb.
and like just get down on one knee beside her and the body of the deceased and just say like, it is not safe for you here. We must go. We can grieve at home.
She looks up at you with tears in her eyes and she says, I must give my son a proper burial.
Yes, of course. We will carry him with us, but you must leave.
She agrees to leave with
Oh
you.
shit.
Nice.
Didn't expect that.
Lots of convincing there.
We'll dig 2 holes.
I think Ramis will nod at Zug. Bring them up. And then like usher Anna.
So I'll hold the head in one hand and I'll just do what I can.
By the hair? What kind of monster are you?
What else am I gonna grab him by the nose?
God.
Child,
Cradle it.
it's not a football.
Jeepers.
Ramis will usher Anna away from the mob.
I will carry the body.
Okay, where are you guys taking her?
To her house, I guess.
After some faint screams and confusion from the crowd, you're able to make it away, and you arrive at the cottage of Anna.
Can you give me rerolls? Or just yourself?
I can do it for any role, enemy or ally. Like that.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
I'm gonna turn to Anna and just ask, like, where would you like the body?
She says, if you could please take it around the side to the backyard. And if you guys remember, almost all houses in Krez have their own graveyard.
Mhm.
There's a graveyard in the
Dug
back.
out by spider people in Eden.
And you've visited there because that is where all of her other children and her husband are buried.
I will find a nice spot.
You should be playing the Kresk soundtrack in the background.
And matter of fact, there is already a hole dug for Ilya.
She knew.
No, that hole was there when you arrived because Ilya was dead when you got to this town.
Oh,
That's right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was
Oh,
dead when
circling
you guys
back.
arrived. Yeah. So there is already a hole for him.
Okay, I'll toss him in there.
God.
I didn't say that out loud.
Okay, so Zog is outside in the backyard, and the rest of us are inside with Anna, or what's?
Sure. It's your choice.
I think I will nod to Kane and say, "Let us help Zog bury Ilya."
Agreed.
And
Get outside.
I would exit with Kane.
Leaving Sindra alone with the sociopath.
I think so. Like somehow Syndra is always the most comforting one, which doesn't make any sense, but
Fix the dagger.
So the men go outside to assist in the burial of Ilya, and Sindra is left inside with a distraught, weeping Anna.
Gonna try to put a comforting arm around her. Be like, we all knew this is for the best.
Oh God.
Wow.
Her son was eating people and murdering her
Not something like
husband.
I lost my own child
Yeah, Jesus.
to the demonic forces, or
I also
Now we know how to handle her.
It's really been
DM note, I would like to remind the group
yeah,
that Anna was the one who was inciting the mob
yes.
before you fought Ilya.
I mean,
Oh, about the sheep and not being able to.
Yeah, she's trying to get the heat off of her kid. I mean, it's her kid.
Yeah.
People do dumb stuff for their like loved ones.
wait, is the DM trying to incite violence?
The DM is trying to remind you that you know that she knew.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
No,
all.
That's good.
Okay.
I forgot.
Kane will remind the
This isn't just
people
like a
around her.
sweet lady who just like lost her son. Like she was very much in on this.
I mean, she is a sweet lady.
She's a lady who
Yeah.
lost her son. Like I
Yes.
can't even imagine.
no, and this
We
is
don't know
like
if she's sweet.
no, this is 100% like what I want is I want you guys to cast your judgment. She is an imperfect person, but you're absolutely right. This is a woman who, like, what else was she supposed to do?
Ramis was right. The real enemy here is the abbot.
So Ramis bringing Kane outside will say, "It's a self-apart. We need to redirect their anger."
I agree.
Um,
The abbot is absolutely involved.
about 2 minutes after your arrival, a knock comes on the door
Oh shit!
of the cottage.
At least it's a knock and not like the cottage being caught on fire.
And Anna is definitely in a pretty disheveled state. Would you like to answer the door, Sindra?
Yeah. I'm gonna try to do like a super not very subtle like to see if I can get the attention from anyone else in my party outside, and then I'll
You cough very
You
loudly.
guys hear something? Just leave, yeah.
No,
Must have been the wind.
it's just Zug digging.
Why
So
am I the only one?
Sindra goes to answer the door, and you open the door, and it is Luca. Luca is standing at the door, and upon seeing Sindra, he looks at Sindra. And by the way, Luca is like 7 feet tall. He's like gigantic.
nice.
He like looks down at Sindra with his giant head and body and simple mind.
Jesus.
And he's clutching a envelope in his hands. And he looks at Sindra and he says, "Why do you have Pop's knife?"
Oh dear God.
How did you see that?
That was on the wolf. She's
It was on the wolf, yeah.
I know.
yeah, we
Were
Where are
were
holding it?
you so she used it in combat against Ilya.
Mhm.
This is a perceptive young buck.
Were they
He was-
watching us fight him though? I thought they were like
Not
down the
everyone
road.
was. Most of the town ran away.
Yeah.
But Luca was watching.
He was-
Damn it, Luca. Okay.
And
Luca's still watching. He's right behind you.
he says to you, "Were you his friend?"
I think I will say I unfortunately didn't know him myself, but I found his knife, and it has come in very handy for us.
This is useful, okay, kid? Back the fuck off.
And Luca says, "Can I have his knife? It is the last thing I have from my dad."
I think that's a reasonable ask. I would pull out the knife and I would show it to him.
And his eyes like glimmer when he sees it, and his face like kind of against like his own will, he like
Mhm.
lets out a small smile. And he says, "You are my friend."
Oh, that's
And
nice.
he like motions to like for you to give him the knife.
Okay. Yeah, I'll hand him the knife.
Luca smiles at you, and he gives his friend, you, a note that he is holding in his hands. He hands you this piece of paper, this envelope. And he says to you, this was a note for my pop. He says, I have not read it yet. It was for him. Maybe you can read it.
Interesting. I would open the note and read it aloud.
So you read the note, and the note is short. It says, my dear Costel, forgive my abruptness, but you must flee with your son to my estate. We have ample stores laid up for the winter and can shelter your family and friends. Please do not trouble yourself with a response. I will see you soon enough. It's signed, your friend in joy and strife, Marilena Fidotov.
Okay. None of those names are familiar to me, right?
The name Costel is slightly familiar to you.
She's the one who asked us to help, right?
No.
No.
Costel is Luca's dad. So the note is addressed to Luca's father. Costel.
Okay.
Costel Barbu. Yeah.
Okay.
Who it's signed by, that is not a familiar name to you.
Mm-hmm.
Signature says Marilena Fidotov.
Okay. I would ask Luca, do you know who this letter is from? Do you know that name?
He says, yes. He says, she was a dear friend of my father. She and her family have an estate right down the road out of Kresk. And he sort of furrows his brow and he says, she has much livestock, much food.
Okay. Maybe
He doesn't have a lot to say, but he has direct things to say.
all right. Maybe she can help this town survive through the winter.
Luca,
And
nods
how
his
far away
head.
was she?
He said she was just outside of the town, like just down the road. So he's sort of indicating she's nearby.
Okay. I think at this point I would go and grab the rest of my group and be like, hey guys, check out this letter. Here's Luca. Say hey.
I'll grab the letter. I'm gonna look at it and pass it to someone else.
Oh, it's like illiterate.
Can't read.
Oh.
My intelligence is 4.
Oh.
I don't even respond to my name.
He like
half
picks
the
up the
time.
note and he like tries to read it and he's like, what am I doing? He gives it
This
to
is
him
not a
page.
picture.
So you guys all catch up on this note. Does anyone want me to read it again? You guys good?
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, well, same. We read it.
Okay.
So the note's just saying, like, essentially your family come over to my estate and hold up for the winter.
Sorry, what's her name again?
Marilena Fidotov.
Fidotov.
Was there a reason why? Was there?
So the note
Strahd?
basically sounds like a response, right? The note basically is like saying, flee to my estate, we have stores, right? So it's a response to something that seemingly Costel maybe originally sent to this person. Maybe Costel wrote her telling her about the current situation.
But there wasn't a situation yet.
There have been for several weeks. There has been.
Yeah.
There this morning, was everything got fucked, but it had been leading up, like Demira had told you, it had been slowly dwindling. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I think Remise would just say, Perhaps Lady Fidetov could help keep Kresk at bay for the moment.
With her livestock.
Yes, sir.
And some footsteps rustle behind you, and Anna stands up, and she's overhearing your conversation. She says, "Did you say Fidetov?" And Anna says, "The Fidetovs are quite a wealthy family, but we have not heard from them from quite some time." She says, "The estate is only 15 minutes from here. I hadn't thought about that."
Shall
Yes.
we take a walk?
Well, it has been a stressful time, and we will not burden you with this journey, even though it is so close.
Anna is in no state to join you.
I mean,
Yeah.
she sounds like she does.
I kind of want. I have a neat idea that I would like to do, but I don't know if, are we going to be able to recharge our spell slots anytime soon?
Only if you rest.
We'll want to rest.
By the way, Zug, I've been meaning to tell you, you look to be at death's door.
It is a
Perhaps
constant
I-
companion.
Perhaps I should have.
I'll
What
take
time of the day is it again?
HP off.
What?
What time of the day is it again?
Probably morning.
Okay.
So it started
Because-
pretty early.
Yeah,
This was like the first thing of the day.
Yeah.
Great.
You guys could take a short rest at the house before leaving and at least recover something.
Yeah.
We
I'm
go
down
see-
with a short rest.
I'm gonna take a second wind.
Danny,
Yeah.
I will suggest if you have any kind of combat at all planned, you need to actually fully rest. Otherwise, we are just.
Side note, DM, we're gonna die.
I'm aware of your current state, and there won't be combat in the near future unless you instigate it.
So there's gonna be combat.
There's definitely gonna be combat.
Okay.
We're fucked. All right.
Take a long nap and we don't need to move for the next 8 hours.
So,
You guys would be fine with a short rest.
what's the situation with Ilya's body? Have we?
Successfully buried it, however, horribly.
Okay.
I got tired, so it's a little shallow.
It was already done.
It was mostly dug out.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do a lot of work.
Did you just not
Grave
put all
was
the
I
dirt
digging?
back in?
Did you just make a
Whose
big-
grave was I digging?
Oh, it's for the head.
Yeah, just a little hole next to the grave. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess we should just tell on a. We must rest before we journey to the estate. Ilya and what the abbot did to him was much for us to contest. May we rest at your house.
She says, after all that has happened, you may rest here. I would like some peace and quiet for the rest of the day, though.
We will stay to make sure the townspeople do not come knocking with pitchforks.
And torches.
So a short rest, how long does a short rest take?
It's like,
You can do it in like
Isn't
1
it
hour,
An
right?
hour,
is it just, oh, wait, how many, but I don't get any, you get spell slots.
not much. It's basically nothing,
Wait, what is the benefit to any of us though?
almost nothing. We need to take a long rest if we want to be ready to do any, I can't cast any more spells except I have one more slot that I was gonna cast something that I thought would be a really
You guys
interesting.
could take a long rest if you
RP.
want.
I just used my second wind to get 7 health back.
Microwave.
Whatever, we can, I mean, Let's just short rest. Let's take the DM's word that we're not gonna be fighting anyways.
How many do I get back? I get back something.
Do you have your character sheet up?
Yeah.
You just said short rest. It should do it for you.
Okay, the party decides to take a short rest, recover some hit points, recover some spell slots. Let's say it maybe takes a couple hours.
Yeah.
And
It's the
by
afternoon.
the afternoon, you are ready to head out.
Mhm.
Okay. So it is now afternoon. Party decides to gear up and head out to the Fedotov estate.
And we know where it is.
Luca in the with his paper also hands a crude a crude map that shows an arrow pointing to where the Fedotov estate is, which there is only one sort of cobbled road that leads out to it. So if you guys leave the Kresk gates, right outside of the Kresk gates, there is a small cobbled road that leads out into kind of what looks like straight into the woods. Now it is daytime and it's bright out, so it's not too scary. So basically there's a long cobbled road into a forested area that you assume leads you to the right place, if you desire to take it.
We desire to take it.
Hi ho, we go.
All right, so you're out venturing for about 15-20 minutes. It doesn't take you long before you follow this cobbled road, and eventually it leads to a huge clearing in basically the middle of the forest to the east of Kresk. This is on your east, the eastern side of Kresk. The clearing, you see a huge 2-story mansion surrounded by beautiful fountains, hedges, flowers, trees, and a perfectly manicured cobbled road that leads straight into the manor. It is absolutely stunning.
This must look very out of place in Barovia. Then.
Yeah, have we
This
seen anything
mansion,
like
this is the most impressive site and the most lavish mansion you have seen in Barovia yet.
Is it well kept right now? As
It
far
is
as we can-
very well kept. It is groomed and manicured. There are attendants outside trimming hedges. Oh yeah, this is a big deal.
Okay.
Go
strolling up.
Yeah. You guys gonna stroll on up?
We strolling.
I'll
You
be there.
stroll on up? Okay. So the party strolls on up to the manor. The servants who are attending to the outside of the property all watch you as you approach the mansion's entrance.
Do they appear to be corporeal and everything? Like are they unseen
Are they
servants
were
wearing
people?
clothes?
They look like absolutely regular people.
And they are eyeing us warily.
Yeah, they're kind of side-eyeing you, like you look bizarre to them. This is not new to you. You have noticed
Yeah, like-
people who look at you in almost every town you go to.
We're weird.
Y'all look weird.
We still have hope in our eyes for some reason.
Yeah. The mansion is made of marble and detailed finishings. Literally, this building is crafted from marble as you approach it.
Okay.
It is impressive as heck. The front door is gigantic. And instead of being a wooden door with like iron latches of most doors that you have actually seen in Barovia, this particular house and these doors, this door is a giant piece of iron, the whole door,
Wow,
as far as you can tell.
that is impressive.
Yeah, it's crazy looking.
We're gonna go up and knock on that door, I guess.
Knock on the door.
So no servants have come to address us.
I mean, we do look pretty badass. Let's be honest. All right, you guys look pretty badass. I look like an old man, but
We got an old man. We have a half orc. We have a fucking golden motherfucker.
Asimar, what are you?
We have an elf.
Nice.
Yeah, so knock on the door, maybe look for a doorbell. I mean, do what you want. You knock on the door. Who knocks on the door?
I will knock on the
Zug, of course. Zug, of course, approaches and
He
knocks
loves
on the door.
doors.
So Zug, you knock on the door, and the first thing you notice about this door is big and iron. You've noticed this like everyone else has. But when you knock, you feel kind of like a reverberating, like a kind of vibration. And what it feels like to you is that this door is actually like hollow inside. And you hear like sort of the echoing inside that kind of sounds like there's something in the hollowness of the door. It's kind of like, imagine you have kind of this, I don't know, maybe like 5 inches or 6 inches wide sort of metal door. And then inside there's maybe something in there that you can't really
So
tell.
it's
what it
making a
is.
hollow sound.
Yeah, it gives you like a vibration when you knock, and you kind of hear some like almost like clinking noises kind of coming from the inside. It's interesting. You notice it. It's very obvious to you.
Okay.
After about a minute, the door starts to make noises. It starts to grind, like there are grinding gear sounds, and you hear a bunch of clicks and clinks and grinding, and then finally the door opens. So this door, like from what you guys are sort of observing
Like
here,
a bolt door?
has like some like very complicated like locking
Mechanisms.
mechanisms inside. Yeah, the hollowness is like filled with some kind of like gear mechanism that keeps the door secure.
I think during this downtime and walking up to the estate, I'm going to reverse a tiny bit. Ramis has been noticing the upscale nature of this estate and has been
It's very
slowly
fancy.
prestidigitating his appearance back to cleanliness and some kind of,
Did you get dirty, buddy?
we got our asses kicked like just moments ago. So
Oh, that's true.
he's trying to fucking like clean up real quick.
Okay, you're trying to clean up. Are you like trying to like change your clothes to like look more fine rather
Well,
than like
he-
your adventurer's clothes?
He does like he has a fine cape that he often wears, so he's just gonna throw that.
You're gonna
back
throw
over.
your fine cape on. Ooh, all
I have a
right.
silken
That's
cape.
very, very Ramis.
That's very Ramirez.
Kane
I
still
love that.
has an acid drenched sleeve removed from his robe. He looks like he's been through some
You guys
shit.
I think
like
Ramis
shit.
would do just a quick like let me.
Can you help me out with that?
Okay.
You
So
leave
you're-
my dried blood alone.
You're
It's like he's not touching, so
not touching
Kane
that.
appreciates this.
Okay, so
Right.
you're sort of helping the party clean up just a little bit,
Those who are
noticing
interested.
your fine, lavish surroundings. Okay, so I think that's great.
Good job, guys.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
thank you.
upon reaching the door, and the door opens, like I mentioned, you are greeted by a man who is wearing a fine vest and tie. This man is to you very clearly a servant. He's got a huge rack of keys on him as well. And he opens the door and he eyes you curiously and he frowns upon seeing you. Yeah. So this man greets you at the door and he says, "Can I help you?" He seems a little pompous.
is the sucker about to go?
I
We like nudge
will-
Ramis up in front.
I will reply. We're here to see the sheep.
I think Ramis will like put his hand on Zug's shoulder and say, "Thank you for knocking, Zug." Good.
I'll nod instead.
We're
Good
here
day.
to see the sheep.
Good day, sir. My name is Ramis. We come from the town of Kresk. Lucas has sent us to meet the Lady Fiditov.
The man squints at you a little bit and continues to frown. He says, "I see." And he opens the door and he says, "Please enter."
Thank you.
Yeah, he's definitely like frowning at your clothes more than he is at you. Like he's noticing like your clothes and adventuring clothes in general. And he's like kind of frowning at that. And it becomes more apparent why as you enter the house.
It's like super clean.
So you get inside. So first thing, hold on. As soon as you get inside, another servant approaches you
Oh, geez. Here we go.
and he says, "Your weapons, please."
Mm.
I'm gonna have this like incredulous look, like, you dare?
My hand on my crossbow, like, yeah, whatever. You do.
Yeah.
Is everyone handing their weapons? I'm like, look
Kane
around.
is handing
Reese
over his
is
weapons.
Taking his rapier and a short sword and wrapping him up in leathers.
Handing over your weapons.
I'm afraid I cannot forfeit my mind.
Who's the most
Well, I
pompous?
can't.
Zog's like, I could do that. um,
I will hand over my axe and my shield.
wow, Zog
But I'm
hands
fucking
over his
looking
weapons.
at this
But
guy.
he's not happy about it. Okay. Does Syndra hand over her weapons?
I will hand over most of my weapons, but I will hold on to a dagger. Yeah. But I'll hand over everything else.
This is my letter over
Is that the one you have hidden in like a special place or something like that? You have like
Yeah.
a hidden dagger?
Hmm.
I have it in like my pack and
The
stuff.
old boot dagger.
I'll hand over
Yeah.
everything that he can see visually.
Okay. So you guys enter into the entryway, and the original servant guides you into the next room, and he opens the door. And in this next room, it is a gorgeous, decorated ballroom. It is large.
Is it gaudy?
No. There's a huge, beautiful marble grand piano in one side of the on one side of the
See if that would sound
ballroom.
good.
and it is lavish. And there's a man playing piano. There's actually a full band in swing playing music. And there are people dressed in lavish, fine clothing, mingling, dancing, and having an all-around wonderful time.
Well, well, well.
Is this a party?
I'm gonna cast detect magic on
Yeah, I was
myself.
like, I think Rami's never brought the cane or like will message Kane and be like, is this all an illusion?
I'm casting detect magic on myself.
No magic to be found.
Hmm.
A regular ass party.
Well, well.
Isn't it a 10-minute cast?
No, it's a long.
Yes, so you find that there's a party that has begun. And there are well-dressed people, there are extravagant foods. You see a table in one corner of the ballroom that is dressed with the most exquisite looking food that you have seen.
Cucumber
since you got
sandwiches?
to Barovia. No cucumber sandwiches, no. There is a giant pork roast. There is lavish fruit all over the place. There are just like these beautiful arrangements of things that you can't even tell what they are because they're shaped and carved into like beautiful, almost ornamental looking things.
This is Crest, right?
What's that?
This is Crest, right?
This is just outside of Krez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other neighboring like towns? Like where is the stuff coming from?
Does the
Okay.
servant say anything, or he just like just put us in this
He just
room?
let you go in. He just said, go on.
Okay.
He has left you to mingle with the guests. Yes.
Zug is uncomfortable.
How many guests are there?
From just being in the ballroom area, you see maybe about 30 to 40 people, all dressed to the nines.
Wow.
You stand out.
Has anyone noticed us?
Everyone has noticed you.
We weren't announced. I mean, this is a ball. And like,
Yes.
they just shoved us in here. I guess I'll shout.
No.
Fenric's guy is 20% off.
Should we get it?
I'll chip in.
I will announce myself. I will shout, I am Zug. The house Zug.
There's no other name, it's true.
I'm Zog of House Zug. Yeah, and this catches the attention of several of the partygoers. And two ladies walk over to you, and they look curiously at you, and they say, "What are you?"
Clueless.
Aw.
Doug is speechless. The audacity.
Audacity.
I just said my name. Who are you?
Oh man.
So it's like, identify yourself, wench.
She sort of flutters around you and like is trying to get like a whole vision of you. And she like kind of coyly says, she says, "Where did you come from?"
House
She is
Zug.
not answering your question. House Zug. Yeah, she knows what that is.
I'm gonna look at Ramiz. I am lost.
Like, what am I doing
Get
here?
this woman away from me. This is your department.
Take care of this. I hate
Okay. Yeah, Rumis will step forward and say, "Ladies, Zug is but one of the fiercest warriors I have ever met. I am Rumis. It is a pleasure to meet you."
She smiles at Ramis and she says, "The pleasure is all mine." And she sort of like walks up to Ramis, gets a little closer so she can say something not as loud. And she says, "The usual crowd here is oftentimes so boring and stale. Tell me about what you do."
Okay.
And as Ramis is being lured into conversation with this young lady, the rest of the party can sort of mingle with some of the other guests.
I'm going to the food.
Zug is going straight to the food. You can also overhear some things that are going around, and some sort of if you listen in on any of the conversations that are happening.
I'm trying to get a good picture.
Keep
doing your
talking.
damn thing.
As you guys are sort of listening to what's happening at the party, you can listen in on the specific conversations, and you can sort of get a sense of what people here are sort of talking about. At one point, you can hear some information sort of like circle during the mingling. You can hear someone say, "Did you know that the Fidditovs are renowned for their architectural work? Did you know that one of their ancestors actually built Castle Ravenloft?"
Oh, that makes some sense, doesn't it?
You can overhear a man saying to another man, "The gardens here are quite beautiful." He says, "If you do go about walking around them today, make sure to avoid the hedge maze. They say that no one can go in there but Lady Fiddletov herself without getting lost."
Magical head.
That's a challenge.
Got it.
Hmm.
Do you mind for the head?
Not right now. I'm still eating.
I want to drop some more rumors on you.
Are you taking notes?
Hedge maze.
You hear a group of women sort of huddled together, and one of them says, "Lady Fiddletov recently broke off her engagement to Dmitry Kreskov." Yes, that Kreskov.
Wait, Kreskov is the isn't that the name of Ilya's like the burgomaster family line?
Yeah. So
Who's Dimitri?
the dad.
Isn't
Where the
he
hell is
dead?
Yes.
Okay.
So was
That makes
Anna
sense.
his mistress? Did we know
That's his wife.
that? So that doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't.
Okay.
Wait, so Anna's the mistress?
Anna's Marilina Fiditov.
What the?
You also hear someone tell tell their dance partner. The location, the family crypt is big secret. Every time that we gather for one of Marlena's extravagant galas, we like to take guesses as to where it might be. My bet is that it's somewhere in the cellar.
Crypt, they said.
Mhm. Mm.
Mingle some more.
The women continue to sort of clamor around Ramis and like Zug a little bit too. They're very curious and continue to ask you questions about your adventures. They want you to tell them the story.
Ramis is no, not that story. Ramis is regaling them of the time that that Zug leapt from his boat to save the drowning girl, and just in time as she sank to the bottom of the depths of the lake, he swam back up, took a deep breath, and had her with him safe. We brought her back to her parents, and they were most grateful. He is a hero.
The woman.
Yes.
I'm like right next to him with a plate of food, like a pork shank. I'm like,
The woman is very clearly impressed and gasps at the story.
I'm gonna flex a little.
She takes this as an invitation to touch your bicep.
Ooh, I get a tingle.
Okay. Ramis would like to do some question asking now as they're distracted by Zug's
Sure,
musculature.
sure.
He will say, but ladies, we have shared so much about ourselves and know nothing about you. We came to meet the Lady Fidetov herself, and are so happily waylaid for now. Who are you?
What's your number? What's your sound?
ASL, baby. Okay, we had a 90s moment. So the first woman, she so there's like kind of two women who are like dancing around and sort of being enamored by you. The first lady,
Yes.
who has been doing most of the talking, she says, my name is Mary. She says, Lady Fidetov should be out shortly. She usually sort of dances in and out of these parties. You know, she likes to maintain her appearances.
Mary.
And
That's a simple name.
The first time. This irrelevant ass character.
I think Ramis would pounce on it and say, what is the occasion of today's celebration?
Mary responds to you. She says, whatever do you mean? There does not need to be an occasion to celebrate.
But it's more fun to have one.
She's indicating to you that like they have these kinds of parties all the time.
Indeed. Today is a cold day, reason enough, no?
Reason enough.
And where might you and your friends be from there?
She says, I am from Krezk. She says, originally, I stay here with Lady Fidetov now.
How long have you been here?
Maybe just a few years since her father passed.
And all of the other guests?
All sorts of places around Barovia. It is a trek for some to make it out to these parties, but utterly worth it. After 5 to 10 minutes of chatting, after about 5 to 10 minutes of chatting or so, the double doors that are on the far side of the ballroom swing open and a woman emerges. She is wearing the most beautiful ball gown. She has striking red hair in coils, and she heads directly towards the party.
Excellent. Our time has come.
I think Ramis will mutter under his breath as a That is fitted up.
I'm gonna look over.
No.
So just to describe this person before I let our resident here take away some of the role play.
Lady Fitted said he was a man.
Well, you know, we worked it out.
Yeah, you got baited hard, Devin.
I actually did attempt to adapt this role to be male, but I found it to be really difficult. So Devin graciously agreed to role play.
Yeah, if Jared Leto can do this, I can do this.
I get to flirt with Devin.
You don't have to flirt with every woman. But, you know,
I'm not flirting. I'm trying to get fucking information.
By flirting.
So
I have high charisma. What can I say?
just to sort of set the stage a little bit, she appears to be around her late 20s, so
She's a youngin.
youngish. She's quite beautiful, and she she has one of those faces that she just looks like she was meant to be like a high-born person.
Mm.
She just has the structure for it. You know what I mean?
It's the hair conditioner.
It's the conditioner. Yeah, those coils are real soft. And she heads directly towards the party. She's very curious. It appears that she has heard about you and now is seeing you.
Taking notes, sorry.
That's okay. Take your notes.
Where are
Coils.
Syndra and Red Coils? Check. Hot. Where are Syndra and Kane?
Yeah, where are Cinder and Kim?
We're right there next to
They're right there.
Okay.
You guys are just hanging
Right there.
out,
Well,
just
I'm
lurking.
Yep.
Kane just sitting there like, yes, I remember
I
the days when
haven't-
I had biceps.
I haven't had a good reason to speak up yet.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
guys are just kind of hanging out. That's cool.
Gotta give Zug, a chance to RP.
Yeah, anybody else want to RP? I think as Remise notices her beelining for them, he'll kind of like meet her stride and like make
Who goes towards her too?
a very large but
Oh.
humble bow.
Wait.
Oh,
Laid out.
bows.
And the flourish.
Once, yeah, like, and maybe like with a little bit of prestidigitation, like his cape will flutter a little bit more dramatically.
Ooh, his
Then-
cape flutters.
I'm
behind.
also gonna cast prestidigitation and make sparkles come off the back of it.
And as soon as you finish, I'm gonna say to her, like, he does this for everyone.
It's like tuxedo mask being revealed for the first time.
Yes.
So Lady
Spotlight
Fitotov
hits. No.
sees this like golden man and he is like curtsying and his cape is
I'm not
blowing.
curtsying, I'm bowing.
His cape is blowing and there are sparkles coming off of him.
And I think Remise would say, Lady Fitotov, it is a pleasure. I am Remise the Golden.
I'm
The
sorry.
pleasure's all mine. Let me introduce myself. My name is Merlana Fiditov, and I hold the estate here at Crest. And you are
Zug.
pointing at the rest of the group.
Yes.
What did you say?
I'm Zug. Of House Zug.
Oh,
I
sorry.
said this earlier.
I am Kane. I hail from no specific house.
Syndra.
Well, it is very rare that we have people like yourselves at our estate here. I see you've already helped yourself to some food. How else may I help you?
Wine.
Wine. There is plentiful wine available.
Okay, I retract my
There's
statement.
plentiful wine?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, Kane, take note of this.
That's good that Remise didn't know. He would have been
Yeah,
very
actually,
drunk by
this
now.
is kind of important. Let me interject for just a moment. There is a lot of wine here.
Well, man.
He's like,
Zog, don't look at good
straight
folks
up.
now.
Yeah, whatever.
Cool that.
Milady, as you can see, we are but humble adventurers, and we are most grateful for you, for your audience today. We were sent here by someone of blood of yours named Lucas.
Costel would be a better, that's the dad. That's who the letter was addressed to.
Whose father is
Costel.
Costel.
Yeah.
I understand that there was communication between you both.
Well, adventurous you certainly are. But this is a party, my dear. We don't necessarily speak of these things here. Please come enjoy yourself. Gestures at the food, the wine, the dancing.
Kane notes the wine and addresses the lady. I am curious. How have you come to possess such large quantities of wine? The winery here is under disrepair at the moment.
This is information that Lady Fidotov is unaware of. Lady Fidotov has no idea that there's any strain on the wine.
There's strain on the wine. Kane reveals that freely.
So she would play it out as just, I have wine. Just for you.
Well, my good sir, we procure wine from only the finest wineries.
Excellent. Well, perhaps we can speak about reinvigorating the supply in Barovia at some point. As you can imagine, if the wineries in the area are depleted, the surrounding townsfolk are, shall we say, a bit disappointed.
Disheartened.
Yes, a tavern with no wine is hardly a tavern.
Thirsty.
Yes, Doug is quite thirsty. He's very fond of wine.
Fond.
Are you like double fisting now? What's going on?
Well, it's hard because I have like a handshake in one, and it's like I can only fit so many wines in glass.
Are you handshaking and then like between your pinky and your ring?
That's
finger,
what
you
I'm
got
trying,
another
man.
wine?
That's what I'm proficient
That's
in. But
impressive.
anyway,
Well, may I ask, old man, are you here on wine business or have you other deals?
We have many orders of business. Wine is amongst them, my dear. In fact, one of our self-administered tasks is to find a solution to the wine drought here in Barovia.
Well, certainly there are many wineries that I can get you in contact with. But here at this estate, we have plenty of wine, my dear. Please have some.
Very well, very well.
The wine here is expensive.
is it the dragon wine?
It is the Dragon Crush.
Oh my
Crush.
gosh,
Didn't
it's
we do
Damn.
a bottle of that?
We stole a barrel of that.
I'm drinking some of that dragon stuff right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think Ramis will bow again and say, as you wish. We will mingle as best we can.
Now, before you do, I must show you the estate. You are guests, after all, as dusty as you may be. Please come with me. I must show you the library. I must show you.
Ramis ruffles at the dusty remark.
so I'm gonna pat and just have a cloud of dust. just float
You look
away.
down, checking to see if Rami's missed a spot.
Please, we would be overjoyed to accompany you.
Right this way.
I follow.
I'm right behind Ramis.
I'll grab seconds and follow.
Goes well.
Lady Fidotov whisks you away to a room that is behind you and opens the door. And this room is what appears to be a library.
A library, you say.
Zug stands unimpressed.
Zug stands with no interest.
This is not a maze.
What are these paper bricks?
These are pictures.
Where are the crayons?
And
Okay.
Lady Fidotov might notice that Zug is feeling out of place in the library.
Getting glossy-eyed.
This is our family library. We have the largest collection of the finest books in all of Barovia.
Kane is enamored at the moment. He's just looking around, lost in the thought of the potential.
I think Ramis would look at the lady and say, with your permission, may I browse the library?
Of course, please remove those gloves before you do. These books are very, very old and been in my family for generations.
Kane pulls out 2 white gloves. He knows what's up. Puts them on.
All right, lore college bard. Okay? We both like books, bro. I've read a couple fucking books. All right, I think Ramis would join Kane at the expansive shelves and start like.
Kane's also going to keep an eye out for any magical auras around any of the books.
I think Ramis is just looking at books by seeing what's in there.
I'm gonna sit on the floor.
Zog sits on the floor in the middle of the room.
I don't want to mess it up.
Oh, that's funny. As you browse the books in the library, you see all sorts of books from all sorts of different topics. You see books on, you see actually there's a lot of books on architecture, a stunning amount of books on architecture, many books on sort of elegance, grace, upper class lifestyle. You see books that are cookbooks, actually. You see some old looking cookbooks that definitely appear to have been well loved.
Are any of them written by a Fiditov?
Yes, plenty of them are written by Fiditovs.
Mm.
You notice that a lot of the books on architecture specifically are written by one person in particular. You see a lot of the architecture books are written by someone who has signed it, and I have the name, Artemis Fiditov. Upon scanning, if you stay in there for several minutes, you actually find a book detailing the construction of Castle Ravenloft, written by Artemis Fiditov.
I'm going to look into that book.
Yeah, damn.
Peruse the pages of the book, and it's mostly a log of different sorts of mechanisms used. There are no maps or anything like that. There is no design, but it does have some details as to different types of architecture that were utilized in Castle Ravenloft. And so what you are assuming is that one of those rumors that you heard might actually be true, that one of the Fiditov ancestors did in fact contribute to building Castle Ravenloft, which you know is where he himself, Strahd, resides.
Any juicy tidbits on the psychology of designing traps or something like that?
I mean, if you want to sit in there for like an hour or two.
Aren't you like a
quick
fucking
reader.
reader? Yeah.
Not any traps, no. There's no traps in the book. It's really just strictly architecture.
Okay, so nothing mechanically interesting.
Mechanically interesting, maybe like door mechanisms and things like that.
And no, like history of this arrangement, like
No.
how the Fiditovs came to. Okay.
There are books on bookkeeping.
I'll take note of whatever I think is really useful.
Old man, I see you show an interest in architecture.
Oh, well, back in the day, I was a bit of a designer myself. He like dusts off what's left of his robe.
I cough in the plume of dust. Please, you must keep it for yourself.
Oh, are you sure, madam?
Well, return it when you're done, of course. But yes, please. You are a guest.
Thank you. I will peruse it. Much appreciated.
Are we done here?
Doug is over the library.
So no magical books or anything like that in
There's nothing like that would sound or could possibly be related to, was it the Sisters 3? That
there.
tale.
No.
Okay.
Not with your initial scans.
No mention of Barovia in anything?
There are some books that sort of seem like they are like Barovian sort of history, but nothing that appears to be like lore, just
Okay.
kind of like general books.
Hedge mazes.
Nothing on hedge mazes.
What?
Yeah.
Hedge maze was a lie.
A bitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zug, is it? I see you have a love of food. I'd like for you to take a look at this. This is written by my great grandmother. It is a cookbook that details some of the finest dishes and maybe even some that are suitable for, well, people like yourself.
Kane looks at some of the words and like creates images with
Aw.
Those look delicious. Too bad I can't eat the book.
Doug can't read in case we had.
My intelligence is 4. It's of the same intelligence of a squirrel. That's why.
No,
That's why
I think, really?
I think so.
Squirrels are 4?
It's really low. I'm really dumb.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's okay, Josh. I mean, Zug.
I'm hamming it up though.
I do enjoy having food.
Before leaving the other room, Sindra would have piled up a pile of snacks that she would have hidden, and she will hand that to Zug right now.
Making the pictures.
We have
real.
this system where she'll just hand me snacks and I just slyly eat them. And
You
go
slightly
about my-
eat them instead of just like
Yeah.
shoving them in your mouth.
This is
Like a
this is
squirrel.
a high class place.
It's
I don't shove them in my cheeks.
sleight of hand.
Oh yeah, you got a whole hand. I nailed it. I'm just like,
That was good.
So upon noticing that you all might be done,
We're done here, I guess.
she exits to lead you to yet another room. She takes you out through the main ballroom, and let's see, where does she take you?
I don't know.
And I can write it down for you if you'd like. And she sort of actually in the ballroom, she sort of shows you the ballroom. She takes you around the ballroom. She sort of presents the piano and the beautiful tapestries and the paintings and the beautiful, she's wainscoting in this ballroom. And she sort of like shows it all to you. She's looking for your like response.
This is quite impressive.
Well,
Tell me, how old is this building?
Well, certainly much older than yourself. This estate has been in my family for generations.
Fascinating. I presume that this book perhaps contains information on how it was built.
Well, I wouldn't know much of that. I myself am a mathematician.
Oh, a mathematician, you say? Oh, where did you train?
Oh, somewhere very far from here. I don't presume you'd know the name of it.
That's true. I do not know very many things.
Okay.
You there, the shiny one. Can you dance?
you did.
Are
We
you,
can say for him that yes. Yes.
are you saying for people, milady, or with people?
With people, of course. A man who cannot waltz certainly cannot be trusted to handle other things, if you know what I mean.
Like laughing, but like
Okay. Remise presumes that the lady Fidotov is asking him to dance, and he will just say, "Call me Remise, please."
Remise. My apologies.
He raises his hand.
I take the shiny one's hand.
I'm gonna try to dance.
performance check.
Okay.
Stomping clap.
All right, here we go.
I'm gonna go. Good luck.
Prepare
And
yourself.
upon seeing Lady Fitatop enter the dance floor, the musicians change gears entirely
Oh,
to a
God.
much more upbeat and like loud song. So like they get a second wind.
Here we go. Here we go. That's a 20.
Roll a
Woo!
That's a 24.
nice.
That is a very impressive waltz. And Lady
With
Fitatop
backflips.
is absolutely like she's like actually a little bit shocked. She's like, wow, I was not expecting that.
Yeah. Fucking this rough and tumble crew of mine. I don't know them.
Where
I don't-
did you learn to dance? Somewhere far away.
Somewhere far away you've never heard of. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Not at mathematician school. So while we are dancing,
Right.
Ramesh would like to continue the conversation.
Yes.
By all means.
Fuck. I want to ask her first. Okay. Milady, I am not just saying this, but this is the most beautiful place we have seen in Barovia by far. How can this place be? We have been traveling through dark and broken down villages for months now.
Well, I couldn't say. This place has been here, like I had mentioned, for generations.
Hmm. And do you know how it was built? Was it the Artemis Fiditov we read about in the library?
His reputation certainly precedes him. This is no business of mine. I'm simply the head of a state.
Hmm. And what is your connection with Kresk, the small village nearby?
Oh dear, this is a party. We dare not talk of things like that.
Hmm. Indeed, he'll spin her as she says that, and
Intimidate her.
and then I'll punch her in the face. Just kidding. Anything else anybody wants me to ask while I'm?
Who is her father?
Her father passed. That's all we know.
Well, he was the architect. He was an architect, right? And she's a mathematician. But
Oh,
You-
did
So,
you know
like-
that it was her
like-
father? Wasn't it?
like, who's going to continue the architecture line of the family?
Oh, that's a good question, Zud.
So
Fascinating.
this guy, like Artemis, from what you're reading from Castle Ravenloft,
It's like a brother, right?
yeah, this would be like a great grandpa. This would be like someone long time ago. So she wouldn't really have any idea. She would know who he was, but she wouldn't have like any actual connection to his characteristics. Yeah. So she is the head of the estate, is what you're gathering, but she's like not an architect. It seems like her family is architects or has descended from a line of people who sort of are in that sphere of architect.
Can you ask her more about just her immediate family? Like, who else lives here?
Hmm. You say you are the head of the estate, but surely you must have family around, no?
I prefer not to speak of family at this time. My only concern is numbers, money, and wine.
Money and wine, Robbie. Did you hear that?
Yes, of course. That is often
I can't hear this.
often what I like to think about the most as well, especially the wine, which is most delicious. I think he would then. Oh fuck! I don't even know what else to ask.
We've heard,
And the guests with us here today. Some are from Kresk, some are from all around Barovia, no?
Well, of course.
And how have they traveled here? The roads are so dangerous.
I don't know what if you speak. These roads have been safe for years.
she's living in her own world.
Yeah, it's like we're in some
Has she left?
suspended
Has she-
fucking
It's like a
animation.
time bubble.
Has
Yeah,
she
it's
left her manse at all?
Yes, of course. Our the troubles we have seen must have been the exception. Every time we come
We're attacked by werewolves like twice now.
yeah, okay, I think and with that I think he will conclude the dance and say should we get back to our traveling friends and see the rest of your estate, I would love to see this hedge maze that I have heard so much about.
Yes.
I
want to get lost.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you. Yeah.
Oh, my dear, the hedge maze is completely muddy and nothing of which you'd want to concern yourself with. Let me show you the dining room. Please, come this way.
I'm gonna look like at myself, and I have more mud than this place has ever had. But the dining hall,
Ramis will nod
The
at
dining
Zug
hall.
and say, Zug may not have dressed for the occasion, but he would be most enthused, I'm sure, to visit the dining hall. And then I'll follow.
Lady Finitov takes you to the dining room, which is across the way from kind of where you are currently. And in the dining room, you can see that there is food being laid out for an elaborate feast that you assume is soon to come.
My oddly colored friend, Zug, is it? You must try this. I'm certain you'll love it. This is a suckling pig.
ooh, I will grab like my hand will just encase this pig, and I will try it.
A look of shock on my
it
face.
is delicious.
Jaw dropped.
And of course, I know my manners. I will wipe my hands upon my breast.
They're all dusty with pig juice now.
Dustin pig juice, that's good next.
Wow.
That's a good slow.
What else have you displayed tonight?
Well, certainly you've tried the wine.
I could always use another sample.
Okay.
Blood alcohol.
I'm having too much fun with
Ramis will try to usher the tour onwards and say, Zug, there will be more food later, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, I'm sure.
Another thing I'd like to point out is that as Lady Finitov is giving you this tour, all of the doors in this house that she's taking you through all appear to be the same type of door, this big iron, hollow, fancy locking door. And she is opening all of them for you. Right now, they all seem to be unlocked.
And she's pushing them open?
Yes.
She's pushing these giant iron
They
doors.
they slide.
Okay, I mean, they're still.
But yeah, all the doors in this house appear to like have this design, just something that you've noticed.
Fancy locking door.
Lady Finitov leads you out of the dining room and very quickly walks by a couple of doors that she does not open and takes you to the far side of the house on the north side.
So these doors were where relative to the, so is like the ballroom kind of the center?
The center, yes. The ballroom is kind of the center. So she's taking you to a few rooms that are around the ballroom. She is now leading you, back towards the western side of the house. She is passing by several doors on the northern side of the house. She is very intentionally skipping those.
And these doors look the same as all.
Yes, they do. She's not showing you those ones.
Ramis will walk past them.
I'll take note. You'll take note. Yeah.
All right.
Mentally.
Where's he going in there?
In one ear and out the other.
You can hold one note at a time. 4 notes.
She eventually brings you to a room on the far north side of the house, and she also does not bring you upstairs at all. There is no upstairs to this house. She can bring you upstairs, and
There's no, I thought it was a 2-story.
it is, yeah. There is an upstairs. She does not bring you upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah. She takes you to a far room on the far northwest side of the house and opens the door. This door is locked, and she unlocks it, and she brings you inside.
How does she unlock? It's a key.
She has a key, yeah.
Okay.
Is it just a single key?
It's
or-
one key that she has that opens.
Yes, out of my blouse.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, man. Okay.
Upon entering this room, you see a large desk made of some sort of beautiful, only can be presumed to be mahogany wood. And she sits down in a lavish, tufted leather chair behind it, and invites you to take a seat. This room appears to be some kind of a meeting room.
There's
Well, gathering.
4 chairs around her desk.
There's more than 4 chairs. There are many chairs.
Wow. I will take a chair.
Remus will gather his cape and sit.
And we'll also say,
Well, I'm certain that wine, food, and talks of architecture do not bring you to my estate. On what business do you come here?
The town of Cress needs your help. And
I wish not to talk of Crest at this time. My dear, this is a party, after all.
But this is why we are here. Let me rephrase. Your family needs your help.
My dear, my family resides within this estate. Anyone or anything outside of the state is not of my concern.
What's his name again? What's the fucking guy's name?
The man that wrote to her asking for her aid was Costel.
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 Costel. Costel.
Costel. Yeah, that's how I spelled it.
And Lady Fedotov replied to Costel, and she basically was like, you and your family can come and
here.
stay with me, right?
And what of Costel? He received an invitation from you.
I wish not to speak of gospel at this point.
What do you wish to talk about?
"Oh, madam, you appear to have brought us to a room of business to speak of business, and yet you seem to be unable to conduct business. Quite
If it is,
curious.
I have to send a secret message to Devin really quickly.
He needs an injection of knowledge.
meanwhile, I pour lots of wine.
I drink all wine.
I give my wine to Zed. Offering to gods.
May I have this? Did you get that, by the way?
Mhm.
What does it say? Don't answer that.
Who is this Costel that you speak of, anyway? As I pour the last glass of wine.
Have we shown her the letter?
Do we have it?
We have not. shown her.
I think Singer would have it, right?
Sindra would maybe have the letter.
Remus would nod towards Syndra.
Want the letter and hand it over.
Well, this is certainly my handwriting, but I did not write this letter. It must be a forgery.
Huh.
For what motive would they have to
Yeah.
write it?
Do you know who would forge something like this from you? What purpose would they have?
No one that I would speak of at this meeting.
Fighting with them? Is she?
And man, yeah. Fuck.
He's thinking.
We may not speak of your family if we may not speak of Castel, if we may not speak of Kresk. Then how can we be of service to you? Perhaps we came here for help. Fuck. We came here for help.
Perhaps we can earn her assistance in some other way.
Or ask for
Yes.
a donation of livestock as a token of goodwill. I don't know.
Indeed.
Zug's very hungry. We need
Mhm.
many livestock for the winter.
Sheep.
Enough for saying a small village would suffice.
I will not pry into why we cannot speak of these things, but I would like to offer that we can be of service and of use. And if that service might allow us to speak of things such as Crest, then perhaps it would be worthwhile for us.
My dear, this is a party after all. Why don't you and your party enjoy it? Please, we have wonderful wine, wonderful food, and when morning comes, perhaps we may speak of these things.
Can I do an insight check?
Yes, you may.
My insight's not very good.
I can be your backup on that one.
Okay. I'm not very smart. That's a 17.
Pretty good, dude.
Mhm.
So what is your insight that you are trying to gain?
Is she being honest with us? Like that, like, is there any deception at hand? Like, is she intentionally spinning us?
What you gather with a 17 is that she is essentially, more than anything, it feels like she's trying to save face. She cares much about her image and does not want that to be sullied.
By her relation to Kresk.
She's not being deceitful, as far as you can tell.
She just doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. I don't care about that. Right?
Well, you might be able to appeal to her soft side.
I mean, I fucking danced her shoes off.
Answer right off.
It was a good dance. It was a really good dance. Best I've ever had in my life, apparently.
I think so. Remy senses that there's some issue of propriety at hand, and oh man, I don't even. Yeah.
She also did just tell you that
Stay the night.
she said stay and enjoy the party. She's basically telling you, I'm hosting a party. I'm
But-
not trying to
But
like,
every day is a party, said Mary.
I'm not trying to have this talk right now. She's like, stay, enjoy the party, and stay the night. And in the morning we can have this conversation and talk about it.
Very well, we will leave you to your party tonight. We can enjoy the festivities. I'm sure Zug could do with another glass of wine. And perhaps we'll take a look around. Would we by any chance be able to see other areas of the estate?
My dear old man, some of these rooms are private. You must understand these are filled with family heirlooms and things that I wouldn't want dirtied, shall we say.
Family you don't want to speak of.
Hmm. We would happily rejoin the festivities. Perhaps you could introduce us to some of your other guests so that we may be properly acquainted. We are new to this land.
Perhaps Sintra can take a little invisible walk somewhere.
Should I just blurt out and ask her about the maze?
My dear shiny friend, as you presume, I have many hands to shake, many dances to give. I will have to leave you to you and your party to enjoy the party on your own.
Of course,
Nah.
I think
Lady Fedotov gestures towards the door to whence you came in.
Ramisa has never been rejected like this before. This is new,
And
he's
is
uncomfortable.
and
I'm a
you,
lady, okay? Right?
you have been instructed to enjoy the festivities.
Yeah, Ramis will take a bow and depart along with his party. He will make sure that Zug understands the implication.
The implication.
Zug, we must
I will get up reluctantly.
leave.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, is she still in the chair?
She,
Do it, Zug.
As we're walking out, I'm gonna turn around and just like, I heard you have a maze.
As I said, the maze is temporarily closed, and I'm sure there are more than enough activities for you to concern yourself with. I must be going. Have a good night.
Sounds quite amazing. doesn't it?
I was really hoping to see the maze. It's not often that we find ourselves in the
Maze.
with a maze.
That was on par for
Roll
in
persuasion. Roll
Can I?
Gives us a-
sure, you can try to
persuade.
persuade her to like allow you to go see the maze.
Yes.
What's your charisma modifier?
Dude, don't. What am I rolling? Persuasion? I have -1.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Right? It'll still be a 19.
20.
6.
Lady Fedotov is not particularly persuaded.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna desk off and walk out of rock.
Okay.
Now you have just like the dust around the juices
It's
left.
just an
But
outline.
it's just like dusty juice marks on here.
Suckling big juice marks.
Lady Fedotov gets up and walks out and gestures for you to follow, and she wants to close the door behind you.
Okay.
And she is most certainly human.
I mean, as much as I look at you and think you are human, yes.
So not very
What I'm
human.
saying is like, can one actually know that another person is a human
Well,
besides
like-
your perception? Your perception is
No,
that this is a
like
human.
elf, dwarf, like I don't know, like what
That's-
is
Can I,
no,
can
she's
I
a human.
stare into her eyes and really roll as I walk out?
Her eyes are green and they are quite pretty.
Oh,
I don't get any inclination that she is anything other than she's described herself to be.
No, really don't.
and
There has been no feeling at all of like deceit. You feel that maybe she's not telling you everything. Maybe she's, trying not to expose herself entirely, but she's not like lying.
that's fine. We are but strangers in a strange land.
This
go.
conversation sucks.
I'm
So
actually enjoying myself. Except for the maze.
She's not even a vampire.
So now that the party has essentially kind of agreed to stay for the evening, maybe if you decide to do that,
Sure.
I mean, I need a long rest, so yes.
you can enjoy the rest of your evening. Any shenanigans you want to get into?
Ramis starts drinking. He's done with business.
Ramis is drinking the night
I
away.
want to slip away and go see that maze.
Zug will
I'm
attempt
gonna-
to slip away and go see the
I'm
maze.
gonna put my owl on your shoulder.
Zug is
Wish
going
you
to
luck.
leave this house and venture out into the evening
Alone
alone into
a dangerous maze.
so even from the windows in the house, you can see hedges
Mhm.
outside. These hedges appear to be close to 15 feet tall.
Good thing my bird can fly way higher than that, huh?
Anybody want to come with?
Nope. That's a
It is
magical
also
maze.
snowing outside.
That's a magical maze.
This is
isn't it?
some snowing. This is some
Are you telling
shining
me not
shit.
to go?
This is straight up the Shining.
This is the shining.
I'm giving you the information, dear Zug.
I'm trying to look in your eyes. She
Her eyes
looks
are
away,
empty and soulless.
like my stomach.
What?
It's been like an hour since I last ate.
You still have crumbs on your mouth.
Full snack.
I think Ramis will have been drinking the night away and wouldn't notice Zug slipping out.
Okay, well, if no one's, I'm not gonna go alone. That's.
Are you
that's-
inviting you to the party?
I'm asking, like, I would like to see the maze. Would anybody like to come with?
No one is stopping you from going but yourself, Doug. But I will not be partaking.
I will not venture out alone.
Lady Fidotov also was at least a little bit insistent that she really didn't want you going out there. So by kind of defying what she says, you could suffer consequences of your invitation to stay the evening being
may,
revoked.
Stop the flow of wine.
Mhm.
Can't have that.
I think, yeah, Ramis would say, Soga, I'm still trying to make friends here.
Okay. Okay. I'll just sit in a corner and drink and eat.
This is a party after all.
You eat and you drink, and you are quite merry. This wine is delicious.
Dragon wine.
It is Red Dragon Crush.
Red Dragon.
I'm gonna
Crush
pour.
wine.
I'm gonna pour some Red Dragon Crush into one of my wire skins.
I was like all over my pants.
Just all over my pants.
Anyone else have other things that they'd like to do this evening? People they want to talk to, cats they want to steal. I don't know. Whatever you want to do.
Cinder's been quiet over there.
Yeah, sorry. My Cody just called and my sister has a sore throat, so I don't think
Oh
I'm
shit.
going to get to see them for freaking our Christmas 2.0.
Oh, sorry.
We'll see. They're driving around trying to find a rapid test, so we shall see.
Yeah.
But yeah, did I miss anything super crucial?
Nope. Literally nothing.
I've been denied the maze. And
Well,
there still is the family crypt.
the lady Fidotov is a bit tight-lipped.
Okay. Mhm.
I've been told to enjoy the party and
Yeah.
kind of stop asking questions.
Okay.
So
Alright.
that is what we are currently doing.
Cool. Okay.
Because yeah, I think we're gonna maybe try to take a strategic rest.
So the party is having a
plan.
wonderful evening filled with wine, filled with dancing for those who wish to partake, filled with all sorts of general
Debauchery.
pleasantries.
Oh,
Pleasantries is what I would say. Zug is stuffing his face with all of the delicious foods that his heart could possibly desire, and all of the delicious wine, as are the rest of the guests.
Yes.
And I want Josh to come back before I proceed.
He's in the restroom.
He's in the other room swinging from the chandeliers.
yeah.
Zug would. if he was on the
We're making hard right now. He's just being on a wall.
Any other shenanigans before I move kind of the story along a little bit?
I think
It looks like
only,
the DM has cautioned us against shenanigans at the moment.
I
The
think
shenanigans are okay. I think venturing out into the middle of the dark night into a snowy, gigantic maze, I'm not so sure about, but you know.
Is it snowy also? Yeah, that's right.
Snowy.
Is this stolen from The Shining by any chance?
We've already made that joke.
Kane is going.
What, did I miss that?
Yeah.
Kane is
Damn
going to nudge Cinder at one point. And while he's going to take her out to dance, and while they're dancing, Kane's trying to keep up. He's gonna suggest maybe there was some fun stuff to explore upstairs. If one were sneaky enough and maybe invisible.
Yeah, cool. That sounds neat.
citrus.
Yeah, let me just venture into this fucking house alone, invisible.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Just a
Yeah.
house, right? Just a house.
Once we go to sleep, maybe I boot myself and go invisible and then just take a little walk. I'm trying to find the bathroom, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
After all, elves do not
I
sleep.
got lost.
That's
It's a really big
true.
house.
you don't really need to sleep. You can kind of go do your own thing while everyone else sleeps.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna wait for Josh.
Okay, I guess like the only thing I would add is like is Ramis is mingling,
Yes.
trying to blend, as best as an ASMR can. And like, I think is he just picking up everyone that like everybody is kind of this socialite
Oh, big
class,
time.
like, but they've all been here for a long time.
A lot of these people appear to like kind of be in this, like maybe staying at this house.
Okay.
Many of them seem to have come or traveled from somewhere else.
And everything is like peachy. Like no one seems to be worried or had any bad experiences.
No, I mean, the people clearly here are definitely socialites, like you mentioned. They love to gossip. They love to sort of they're a little condescending even towards each other. It's often you're getting like this kind of vibe of like people trying to one up each other.
And the gossip is just about the folks.
It's
at the
about
party.
the manor. It's about people at the party. Some of them are curious about you and saying things about the party, your party. And like saying interesting things that they may have heard you
I
say.
think I'll get in on the.
You even hear like a rumor drop every once in a while, like, oh, I heard that the shiny one likes to sing.
Yeah, no, I'll drop it. I'll start a rumor train. I'll be like, I heard Mary likes half orcs with big biceps. And I'll start spreading that one.
That one seems to spread quite quickly.
Yeah, thought so, Mary.
And it kind of might be true. That might not be a rumor. So, as you are all enjoying your evening, approximately several hours into this enjoyment, merriment, the shattering of glass halts a dozen conversations all at once. And you see Lady Fiditov, who's sitting on one of the couches. She sways slightly and she motions discreetly to the servant who let you into the house. He helps her up from the couch and out of the room, leads her into a private room, and he closes the door behind them. Moments later, a terrible scream rips through the manor. The musicians play on for a moment and then they stop, confused as to why everyone has stopped dancing. All conversation comes to a halt. The door that the servant closed crashes open, and the servant barges back into the room and he yells, "Poison! The lady has been..." And suddenly, a man standing next to Ramis, a finely dressed man, coughs and he stumbles.
Oh shit. Are we all
He
dead?
puts his hand up to his lips and he coughs. And as he takes it away, it's covered in blood.
Ramis is gonna sprint towards the lady.
I'm not done.
Okay. I only have one.
Not yet.
He falls to his knees, choking and clutching his throat. All around you, the rest of the party guests begin doing the same. Some fall onto the floor while others rush for the exits. The guests are gagging, retching, and falling to the floor, their bodies twitching and racked with spams.
Spams?
Spams, spamming, spasms.
I'm liking this.
Bam, spouting from all of them.
Spasms. Candles and lamps flicker as a chill wind rips through the room. The screaming
Wait, say that again, sorry?
candles and lamps flicker as a chill wind rips through the room.
Okay.
The screaming continues, louder and more insistent than before. One voice of terror becoming a chorus.
What's the band doing?
They stop.
Plays the band.
It's the band still playing.
Are they falling down or anything?
The band is also falling to their knees.
I think Ramis would be looking to see if his adventurer companions are looking ill or any of them dropping.
Yeah. How do I feel?
Roll a constitution check.
Oh, son of a gun.
Son of a biscuit.
Did
Constitution
we all
saving throw.
roll con?
All of you roll a constitution saving throw.
Maybe it was not.
I mean, I didn't drink any wine, so if it was wine related, King was not. He didn't have it.
Yeah.
You all had wine. Do
You
not lie.
teetotaler.
No, I specifically
24.
said Kane likes to keep his mind sharp, just like Zug likes to keep his sword sharp.
Okay.
He did not drink wine.
24, and I drink some more.
11.
Okay.
8.
Oh, I think Cinder and I are dead.
Okay. The elegant manor house begins to transform into a scene of absolute horror and destruction. Everything seems to have changed. The fine draperies that you saw are now hanging tattered and rotted. The floors are stained and cracked, and even the walls and ceilings begin to sag. Everywhere you look, you see dead. Piled in the corners, splayed across the back of a chair, hanging limply in the jagged glass of a shattered window. Though the immediate danger seems to have passed, you think that you can feel some slosh of food and wine in your own belly. And with that, we will end our session next time.
Fun.
Oh.
Lady Fiditov, no!
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm just gonna go save everyone.
So, quick recap for today. You guys all you guys did a lot of stuff. So you went to you took Anna and Ilya's body to the cottage. You buried Ilya. Luca came and gave you a note, and that note said to go to Fiditov estate and that they will have food and plenty for you for rations. You did go and you ventured out to this estate. It was really pristine and beautiful and impressive. You got inside. You ended up chatting with some of the guests. You realized as soon as you arrived that there was a giant party going on. And you chatted with some of the guests. Eventually, the estate owner, Lady Fiditov, came to greet you. She gave you a tour of the house. She was so kind as to actually let you borrow a book, drink all of her wine, and eat all of her food. She appeared to not really want to discuss certain matters like Krez. You heard some very interesting rumors that you didn't necessarily get to the bottom of. Lady Fiditov told you that she would be happy to discuss these things in the morning and you should just hang out because she did not want to discuss these things during her party. You ended up sort of going back and enjoying for the rest of the evening, and suddenly things took a very wild turn for the worse, and it appears that not only have all of the guests been poisoned at this party, including Lady Fiditov, but that the house began to sort of just disintegrate in front of your own eyes as soon as this event happened.
Almost like it was all a dream.
Indeed.
But what
And
about the food?
with that,
So I ate a bunch of rotten stuff.
With that, big shout out to Devin.
Yeah, nice
Thank
job.
you,
Yeah,
Devin.
right.
That was excellent.
Thanks for partaking. That was wonderfully played.
That was
Thank
a beautiful, slightly condescending performance.
You were so haughty.
It was everything I wanted.
I mean,
Okay.
like I think we were talking to Danielle right up until the moment that we started D&D. So
Pretty much, yeah.
well done.
That
That wasn't much prep time.
He took it and really ran with it. So, well, that was great.
That was awesome, dude.
I'm so sorry I couldn't give you more Mr. Shiny Guy.
Also, like, I told him to like be a little bit like pompous and a little bit condescending, and I think that was like chef's kiss. Perfect. Like he told you, he was like, please call me Ramis, and you like continued to call him Shiny Guy.
Or old man.
Old man.
The old man is shiny one. Oh, and the oddly colored one. Yeah, that was
Fantastic.
a very 2021 of Lady Lady Fiditov.
Alrighty, and I'm gonna stop our recording.